I grew up in a world full of music.
I don't even think you remember coming in here. Your mother used to bring you in, and we had a little music machine, and you couldn't even walk, and you would roll that thing. You was in your diapers.
Yeah.
I can see you sitting there, standing there, just going all over the place.
I can imagine.
That's like one of my earliest memories is playing on that thing.
But you did it a lot, so I think I had a feeling you might remember it, but you was awful young.
Yeah.
Awful young.
I grew up in a world full of magic. My grandmother, Beatrice Etta Bryant, née Gardiner, passed away August 28, 2019 at about 1 a.m. An outstanding and strong woman who was passionate, dedicated, and loved what she did. I was named after her. My first name, Gardiner, was her maiden name, and I honestly don't think it could have been more appropriate. I strongly identify with her work ethic and the joy she derived from every day on the job. Bea was married to my grandfather, Joseph Harvey Bryant, in 1950, and they were together for the rest of their lives. He and I, well, we share the same mind and a deep love of music. See, I wouldn't be who I am today if it weren't for the profound impact my grandparents had on my life. And I'm not just talking about genetics either. Joe and Bea were entrepreneurs who turned their common interests into a thriving business. If it wasn't for them and the model of achievement they set for me, a strong work ethic, following your passions, and doing what you love, I honestly don't think I would have started this YouTube channel. I owe whatever modest success I've seen to their example, and for that, I am eternally grateful. Grandpa Joe was a thoughtful, quiet, and poetic man who had a penchant for the mechanical and an infectious excitement over his collection. His wife Bea, a businesswoman with a no-guff attitude. She loved going to high school basketball games, surrounding herself with beauty. She was known to spin a yarn every now and then, and she loved taking people out for supper. Together, my grandparents ran Bryant's Stove and Music, an antique cast iron wood stove restoration business in Thorndike, Maine. It was a company they ran together for nearly 60 years. During that time, the business evolved. What started off as a steel fabrication outfit became an antique restoration service. Their love of music and my grandfather's technical prowess led them to curating their one-of-a-kind museum, a history of antique mechanized music. They collected band organs, player pianos, calliopes, and Nickelodeons, many of which were in disrepair when they received them. And then there was the doll circus. I always thought of it as Grandpa Joe's answer to Disney World, an off-Broadway production of ingenious animatronics. For me, a cacophony of childhood joy, one that has stuck with me since an unfathomably young age. Grandpa Joe was a clever man, repurposing everyday items to sate his creative whims, and he worked with his wife and her doll collection to build something truly incredible. See, they were both exceptionally creative. My grandfather had the mind of an engineer, though he didn't have much in the way of formal training. It's said that this calliope was in 1,000 pieces when my grandfather recovered it from someone's basement. Not only was he able to assemble the thing into working order without instructions, this was pre-internet, mind you. Once finished with his work, he strapped it on the back of a trailer and rented it out for use in local parades for $250 a day. That's simply amazing to me. Similarly, my grandmother was a madwoman when it came to her passions. In a good year, she'd produce about a dozen quilts. She would collect antique buttons and other things she deemed beautiful, like these illustrations that she shared with me about a month before her passing. Oh, and wood stoves. She loved her wood stoves. The stove shop is a testament to following your passions. When Grammy and Grandpa got married in 1950, they bought a house together with a mortgage of about $1,000. Grandpa once told me that his coworker said, "Joe, you're crazy, you will never pay that off." But they did. Along with the house, they also bought a wood stove, and that's where Grammy said her appreciation for stoves truly began. This is the actual first stove they owned together as a married couple. As their business grew, Grammy and her team would go around and find long-forgotten stoves, rusty cast iron in the corner of a barn or garage, which most would regard as fodder for scrap. And she would buy them for cheap. After all, one man's trash was this woman's treasure. With the right equipment, the skill and know-how of her team, and an inventory of rusty bits, what my cousins and I used to call the stove graveyard, the people at the stove shop didn't just restore stoves to make them look pretty. These frames of antique metal were fully functional and ready to be used in a home, providing an inexpensive and much-needed source of heat for the long, cold Maine winter. But Grammy and Grampy also provided mint-condition stoves for many historical motion pictures: Amistad, Cold Mountain, and even Lincoln. Celebrities like Steven Spielberg are known to have held the shop in high regard, and Commander Riker himself, Jonathan Frakes, frequented their business. If you've ever been to a Cracker Barrel and seen a cast iron wood stove in their gift shop, chances are that came from my grandparents. Grammy B was well regarded among her peers, too, winning accolades from associations and publications alike. She was recognized by Bangor Daily News as one of the 10 most outstanding women of northern and eastern Maine. The Wood Heat Alliance in 1981 recognized B as the most outstanding person in the wood stove industry. There's more than a few articles in well-known publications about the Bryants. They've been featured in Rand McNally's Best of the Road, Maine Seniors, and they were also number 33 in BuzzFeed's list of reasons living in Maine ruins you for life. There are few things that you can take with you when you pass on. Your memories, your love, that's what you keep. But I often wonder, what do we actually leave behind? Joe and Bea, my grandparents, they left behind an unparalleled legacy of love. Together, they impacted the lives of countless people. Their reach is felt the world over with their unique brand of humor and curiosity, culminating in thousands of photos, memories, stories, poems, and laughter. The moment my grandfather died, I was fast asleep in my bed. I had a fan going, as I usually do, and it was where it normally sits, on a stand next to my bed. For some reason, on this particular night, I awoke to a clicking sound. It was familiar and rhythmic, almost like the sound of the doll circus. On the night Grandpa died back in November, I felt his presence. He came to visit me, to say goodbye, and he woke me up by repurposing my bedroom fan as one last playful gesture. I was asleep when Grammy died too, and when she passed, there was no mischievous presence like Grandpa had. That probably would have been out of character for her. But I did feel that she was at peace. Grammy, I love you. This isn't goodbye. This is I'll see you later. And I hope that you give Grandpa a hug for me. I want to say thank you to my mom, Faye, Julie and Tori, Carl Chasensky, and especially Chris St. Pierre for their help with this video. You guys have always been so supportive, and I can't tell you how much that means to me, so thank you. I know this isn't my normal kind of video. I've had a very long week, and I haven't really had a chance to deal with this, so thank you for humoring me. Thank you for watching. I appreciate all the kind words and the support that you guys have given me over the last week. You guys are amazing, and I couldn't ask for a better community, so thank you.